Magnífico. Hace frío. It is cold. ¿Cómo se dice? It's cold. Hace frío. Literally in Spanish, it makes cold. Can't say it is cold for the weather. Not for the weather. It has to, the weather makes things happen. So the word for it makes is hace. Hace frío. Usually the only thing you can say here is hace calor, it's hot, pero hace frío. Yeah, well, anyway, all of my thermals. Here we go. Aquí vamos. Buenos días. Buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo están?
Bien.
Bien.
Todo bien.
¿Están bien?
Bueno,
Mm.
Bueno, sí. Excelente. Hoy es la última clase de otoño, de las clases del otoño. Today is our last class for the fall term. Para que sepan, so you know, do not expect a Zoom link for next week because there won't be one. We have a hiatus for a couple of weeks. Okay, vale. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? What are we going to do? We are going to revisit and practice a little more with this whole thing of ordering food, since that is one of the most common things that people will do all the time. We're going to show some samples. We're going to take a look at some of our sample menu things that were at the bottom and play around with that a little bit. And you'll hear some a sample kind of role play before we do that. We're going to talk just a little bit more too when we're done with our little role play on um, the fast food issue, because in Mexico and parts of Latin America, that is a big deal. The street food thing is not a big deal in Spain. Small cafes, yes. Small eating establishments, like popping into a place to get tapas, kind of, or the hors d'oeuvre, the small uh, dishes thing. That's a thing, but not street food there. But Mexico is a big, big place for street food, and the ordering process is a little bit different. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to do some work with uh, the issue, the theme of shopping, buying stuff that isn't food. The whole thing of buying souvenirs, and so while we have one set of verbs that you I put in our slide set that you use a lot in the restaurant setting. There will be a different set of some different kinds of verbs that you will use in a store setting for purchasing things, whether it is clothing or souvenir oriented kinds of activities. And that's where we are headed today. Uh, Vale, muy bien. We're going to take a look at two short videos. One that's going to kind of, the first one is a warm up um, uh, in relation to the restaurant issue. The second one is a sample of a role play, and then we're going to go into our own little role play with some of the menus I had sent you on our Google Slides. Bien. Now, do keep in mind that food in one setting, ordering food, eating food, names for types of food. There's a lot of variation from region to region. Sometimes because it's the issue that foods are different. Sometimes it's because in one country they call foods by different kinds of names, the same kind of food. It's just what happens. There's a lot of variation with foods. So we're going to take a look at this first, and they've got some variations in here that I'll tell you, maybe don't worry about this, but it's a good warm up to hear how people interact because they film this as they're in a little restaurant. And this is not a super formal restaurant, so you're going to notice that. It's not street food, but it's not a super formal setting either. Ok, pueden ver a la pareja. Can you see the couple on the screen? ¿Sí? Bien. Perfecto. Ok. Aquí vamos. Here we go.
Amigas, and welcome to Spanish.
Oh,
Hola, amigos y
we
amigas,
had a
and
little
welcome to
blip.
Spanish and Go, where we explore the culture, traditions, and language of Spanish-speaking countries, so you don't have to. Just kidding, we want you
Okay.
to. So today
To
we're
warm
going
up
to
your
teach you how
ears.
to order a meal in Spanish.
That's right, we're here in Villa de Álvarez, Colima, and we're gonna take you to one of our favorite restaurants called Los Molcajetes. Acompáñanos.
They're in Colima. Colima is a big resort town in Mexico. Colima.
Ordering a meal in Spanish is one of the most useful ways to practice your language skills. It's normal to feel nervous the first few times you do it, but just remember that most people will appreciate your efforts no matter how well you do.
All you need is some basic vocabulary and phrases so you can order confidently.
Buenas tardes. When your waiter comes to the table, you can greet him or her by saying buenos dias during the day, buenas tardes in the afternoon, or buenas noches at night after sunset.
And that greeting of buenos dias or buenas tardes or buenas noches is always important. Remember, we don't really use a buenas noches to greet people until the sun is literally set. For most people, it's going to be buenos dias, buenas tardes, unless you're out really literally after nightfall. So always important to open with that so that you make yourself look like a friendly person, the friendly person that you are.
Gracias. Gracias.
Okay, el
So
menú.
everything's so good here, and first we're gonna order a drink. I like to get the frappes that they have here, los frappes. I like mine with maracuya.
I think I'm gonna get a lim.
So any words you hear like this, like maracuya, wherever you travel, there are going to be specific kinds of fruit, and like fruit-oriented, like smoothie type drinks, or flavored waters that are going to be, that's just what they have. That's what's fresh there. So you kind of have to go with the flow with the vocabulary with that.
That's a lemonade with hierba buena.
Spearmint.
Yes.
Common other bebidas you might want to order.
Bebidas, okay. Recuerden. So this is we're tuning up our ears. Bebidas, lo que se bebe. Sí, bebidas. El café es una bebida. Es una bebida. It is a drink.
Are
Agua,
water,
Agua,
refresco,
soda,
limonada,
lemonade,
café,
coffee, or
té.
tea.
Mi nombre es Salvador, yo seré su mesero por esta tarde. Cualquier cosa que necesiten, estoy aquí para servirles.
Gracias.
¿Gusta algo para tomar o gusta que les tome su orden?
If you can't understand what the waiter's asking or saying, you can say, ¿Me lo puedes repetir?
So, me lo puedes repetir? And you know what? You can cut that shorter if you need him to repeat something. If you need any waiter or waitress to repeat something, puedes repetir is good enough. And notice, because they are young people, these two use a lot of the tú, you phrases. But remember, just take the S off the end of that word puedes, and you've got the polite, more formal usted setting. Puede repetir. Puede repetir. So make it shorter. You can get rid of the me lo. Me lo means to me it. To me it. Can you repeat? That's the word order they use in Spanish. Me lo puedes repetir. But a shorter way to say that so that you can remember only a couple words and get it right. And we're going to make it the formal usted form is puede repetir. Puede repetir. Okay? Puede. Can you? Puede repetir. Okay.
Would you repeat that?
Or, ¿lo puedes decir más lento?
Can you say that slower? Sí, de hecho, te encargo una copa.
And I would not use this te encargo phrase because they use it a lot in this part of Mexico. But remember, the easiest way to order is really para mí. Para mí, for me. Para mí, and tell what your drink issue is, or even for any of the other dishes. Para mí. Para mí is for me. Para mí, and name the item. Okay. And para mí, and if you're timid, it's a long phrase, point to the word in the menu, but yeah, there we go. So I would not use a te encargo. It's okay. There's nothing wrong about that, but you will not hear that in every single
Copacabana de
country.
maracuyá, por favor. Te encargo is a very useful phrase for just about anything you might need.
¿Te encargo más servilletas?
Would you bring me more napkins? Or,
¿Te encargo un tenedor?
would you bring me a fork? Remember, if the waiter looks older than you, use the usted form. Le.
Yeah, and there's actually a good key. If the waiter looks older than you, if the waiter is not a teenager, go with the usted form, which means that verb word will not end in an S. You'll get rid of the S, right? For any kind of verb form that you're using.
And say,
¿Le encargo más servilletas?
or,
¿Le encargo otra bebida?
y un limoncito para ella.
And notice you use the para ella. Un limoncito para ella. Un limoncito. Un meaning one. She's just having one drink. See? Un limoncito para ella, for her.
Here, Tim ordered for himself and for me by saying what I wanted and para ella, which means for her. If you're ordering for a male friend, you would say para él, for
Okay, and those are just the words for her and for him. See, para él, and notice that él has an accent mark because él with an accent mark means he, okay, or in this case, him, right? Él with no accent mark means the, but para él, for her, para ella, for him, and when you're ordering at the table, often one person will order, and that's how you go around the table. Para mí, and then you name the item. Para él, for him, if you're with a guy, and then you name the item. Para ella, for her, and then you name the item. Okay.
him. Y todavía no estamos listos con la comida.
Muy bien, si quieres traigo sus bebidas, ¿eh?
Gracias.
Gracias.
Okay, so the word you're listening for there, no estamos listos, that word listos means ready. Okay, it is the ready word, and that's often used in the restaurant setting because the waiter is not sure if you need more time, less time, if you know right away what you want, right? So, estoy lista. I'm a woman, so I have to use the word lista, ending in an a in the end. If I were a man, it would be estoy listo, listo. But estoy lista, estoy lista, estoy listo. Estamos, we are, estamos listos. Okay?
If you're not ready to order, you can say,
Todavía no estamos listos.
we're
No
not ready
estamos
yet.
listos. We're not
Or
ready.
you could also say,
Necesitamos unos minutos más.
we need a few more minutes.
And remember, you can keep that shorter. If you know we need just 5 minutes, see? Don't even worry about using a verb yet. Use the word five. ¿Cómo se dice five? Cinco. And just saying to the mesero, the waiter, or la mesera, the waitress, 5 minutos, por favor. 5 minutos, por favor. Okay? If you're not ready, just ask for 5 more minutes, and that is good enough.
Okay, so Maya and I have decided what we're going to order. I want the hamburguesa vegetariana, and Mai.
Ensalada.
So, and I think we're gonna share because they both sound really good.
Yeah. Vamos a compartir.
Okay, so we're gonna close up our menus so the waiter knows we're ready and wait for him to come back. Here we've got totopos.
Or tostadas.
That's right. Servietas,
Cuchillo.
tenedor,
Tenedor.
Plato.
mesa,
Silla.
delicioso.
Limoncito.
Para mí, por favor.
Gracias.
¿Gusta que usted su orden?
Sí, estamos listos. ¿Va a ser una hamburguesa la saludable para él?
Muy bien.
Y para mí la ensalada Encanto. Va a ser is another very useful phrase you can use when you order.
And that is just a different way instead of saying para mí. Para mí is for me. That's the easiest thing to remember, but va a ser, it's gonna be. Literally, that's what it means. It's going to be. Va a ser. Va a ser. Okay. You won't hear that little a word in the middle because they'll string them right together. Va a ser. Va a ser. It's going to be. And then name the item. Va a ser. That's just a different way to
It
order.
means it's going to be, followed by whatever you want. I said, va a ser una hamburguesa para él y para mí la ensalada.
It's going to be a burger for him and a salad for me.
Su ensalada Encanto sería con pechuga de pollo o camarón.
Solo la ensalada sin la carne.
¿En la hamburguesa gustan gajos de papas o papas a la francesa?
Gajos, por favor.
Ok, muy bien, ¿sería todo?
Sería
Sí,
todo.
muy bien, con su permiso, ¿eh?
Gracias.
If the waiter asks,
¿Sería todo?
would that be all? You can simply answer by saying,
Sería todo, gracias.
yes, that'll be all, thank you. Or,
Sí, es todo.
yes, that's it.
Look at these.
Yum.
So good. Salud.
Salud.
Oh, yeah. Salud. Salud. Cheers. Salud means health. So you're wishing the person with you when you toast a glass of some kind of beverage with salud.
That's the stuff. So I love this salsa, but I know not everybody likes spicy foods. So if you are going to get a salsa with your food, one of the things you can ask is, ¿Es picante?
So here's a good one to know, especially if you are planning any travel to Mexico, because a lot of the food is much spicier than what Norteamericanos, estadounidenses, US people are not always that used to that level of heat in the food. So es picante, is it spicy? Es picante. Bien. So that's always a good question to be able
And
to
they'll tell you
ask.
if it is or not.
Para él.
Gracias.
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 ¿Algo más que os haga falta?
¿Te encargo otro limoncito, por favor?
Muy bien, ¿para usted, caballero?
Sí, otro para mí también. Maracuyá.
Aprovecho, ¿eh?
Gracias.
Gracias. Well, everything looks delicious. Provecho.
And that provecho is kind of like the, the French use bon appetit, wishing you good appetite. Yeah, I guess. But the Spanish equivalent to that is provecho, provecho, provecho. Provecho. That is what the waiter will say when he leaves the food with you. Provecho. And he's wishing you to enjoy your meal when he says provecho. Also, para que sepan, so that you know, when you finish your meal and you get up from your table and you're walking out of el restaurante, cuando ustedes salen, when you guys leave, it is considered good manners as the diner to just kind of nod at people around you as you walk out and say provecho, provecho to the people at the other tables. It is considered good manners to do that. And just a quick nod and a provecho. It's not like you need to absolutely stop at every table, but just provecho as you walk past the tables is considered good manners. Okay, vale.
Well, that was delicious. We're going to pedir la cuenta.
So you're ready for the check. If you're not sure if they take cards or only cash, you can ask, ¿aceptan tarjetas?
So here is the question, and this will pop up again in stores because it's the same question. Whether you're in a restaurant or a store, it's the paying issue. ¿Aceptan? Do you accept? ¿Aceptan? Or you can just use that's a plural verb. That means do they accept? But you can take the letter N off of the end of that verb, aceptan. You can make it just acepta. Yeah. But don't make it sound like accepta. We have the English word accept, accept, and the ac part doesn't come in Spanish. It's just acepta. I want you to try that word with me. Acepta,
Acepta.
acepta, acepta. And you can make it a plural word, aceptan, or because it's like the theoretical they. Yeah, do they take this here? Or you can leave it as just acepta. Acepta tarjetas. See? Acepta tarjeta. Acepta tarjeta. You accept a card because most people use cards, but there are places that deal only with cash, so it's a good thing to ask. And that cash word is efectivo, efectivo, right? But tarjetas if you use cards.
Solo efectivo.
Do you take
And there's your cash word. O solo efectivo. Solo means only. O solo or only. O solo efectivo. ¿Acepta tarjetas? O efectivo. You can cut out the word solo. You can just put in efectivo o efectivo. Okay? Bien.
take cards or just cash?
We thought about ordering postres, but we're just
Way too full.
full. Yeah. So, la cuenta.
Te encargo la cuenta, por favor.
And you can cut that short, cut it way shorter, and just say la cuenta, por favor. La cuenta, por favor. La cuenta, la cuenta. Bien? La cuenta is the check. People will do this with their hand in the air. And you will see people, because a restaurant can often be in a super noisy environment, you can just do this in the air if you think your waiter or waitress cannot hear you, and they'll know you're asking for the bill. La cuenta, see? But always attach the por
Gracias.
favor.
And that's all there is to it. We know there's a lot of information in this video, but don't worry, you can use the annotations here to jump to the parts you want to practice.
Now it's your turn to practice.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments how it went.
So we're going to leave that for now. That was like a warm up for your ears, a warm up. But now we're going to have a warm up that'll be an actual role play kind of situation. There is going to be one thing in here that grates my nerves. I'm going to point out what it is, and I will tell you what phrase not to use that they actually use in this video. And I cannot believe they still do this, but they do. There is a certain phrase which corresponds in English to would you like? And actually, it is a phrase you should never use because it sounds goofy. And why a lot of videos and sometimes even books persist in using this, I have no clue. But I'll show you which phrase I do not want you to use. But the rest of this is actually a good approximation. Okay, so they're going to do an actual sit down preview. So this is kind of how it's going to feel when we look at our menus from the Google Slides I sent you. So we're going to check this out.
Ordering food in Spanish at a restaurant. Now, this is an interactive video for you to practice your Spanish out loud. The waiter will speak to you in Spanish. You'll then have a moment to call out the English translation before we reveal it. Then the customer will say what they want in English. Your job is to then translate that into Spanish before we reveal the translation. Make sense?
And sometimes keep in mind, you do not have to translate word for word. Sometimes there is more than one way to say something, and that is okay. So keep that.
All right, let's get started. Hola, buenos días. ¿Desea algo de tomar?
So here is the waitress, la mesera, la mesera. Hola, buenos días. So first she greets, right? Greets the customer. ¿Desea algo de tomar? What is she asking? ¿Desea algo de tomar? Anybody got a guess for that word desea?
Drink?
Yeah, it's talking about a drink. Yes, she's asking about a drink. Desea algo. Algo means something. Desea means do you desire, which sounds like super formal, but that is a way that they might ask you, would you like something to drink? And actually, it doesn't have the word like in there. It has the word desire in there. And that word desire is desea. Okay. Desea algo de tomar. She's asking to take your drink order. Tomar is one way to say drink. There's more than one way to say drink in Spanish, but tomar is one. Desea algo de tomar.
Hello, good morning. Would you like something to drink?
And would you like really shouldn't come in to the way they might ask that is just that verb, desea. Okay? Desea algo. Algo just means something.
Yes, I'd like a coffee, please.
I'd like a coffee, please. How do you think you might ask, I'd like a coffee, please? And there's more than one way to ask that.
Y
And-
quiero café.
Yeah, café. Café is our operative word we need. Yeah. Café. And how do you indicate that I'm the one who wants it?
Tomé.
Yeah. Sí, para mí is the easiest way. Para mí.
Para mí.
Para mí. You're going to notice she does not say that, but there's not just one way to ask for a coffee. Yeah. Para mí un café. And we always should throw in the please. Always throw in the please. So, para mí un café.
Por
And what's
favor.
that?
mí,
Por
Por
favor.
Por favor. And you can even make it porfa.
coffee.
Porfa. Porfa or por favor. Yeah. Now, the absolute shortest would be un café, por favor. Un café, por favor. Or para mí, un café, por favor. Okay. You're going to notice she does not use this in the role play, but I'm going to show you something about this.
Sí, me gustaría un café, por favor.
Do not use me gustaría. This is the one and only glaring error in this video, but this is very good for showing an interaction, which is why we're looking at it. But do not use me gustaría. It is bad, wrong, don't use it. I'm not going to explain to you why, except it is a literal translation of I would like. But to be honest with you, people do not use this. They might use me gustaría tomar un café, but do not use, just know this, do not use me gustaría. But responding with un café, por favor, is great. Or para mí, un café, por favor. Okay? Un café. Bien, we're going to let him go.
Aquí está su café. ¿Qué desea?
Aquí está tu café. What did she just tell her? Aquí está tu café.
Here is
Yes,
your coffee.
Bien. Here is your coffee. Está means it's located. It means that the waitress has just placed it there. Yeah. Aquí está tu café. And now she's got another question.
¿Desea ordenar?
Que desea ordenar. Que desea ordenar. What is she asking now?
What
What-
do you
what-
order?
Yeah, what do you desire to order? Yeah, but in English, it would be expressed as what would you like to order or what do you want to order? See, ordenar is one way to say order. Pedir, a different word, is also used to order. Pedir, pedir. ¿Qué desea pedir is another way to ask that same question. ¿Qué desea pedir? ¿Qué desea ordenar? Okay. People, just as in English, we have many different ways to ask these questions. They do too. You may hear different ways to phrase that question.
Here's your coffee. What would you like to order? What would you recommend to me?
And we're going to show you this idea, and they do have a word that sounds a lot like recommend. Okay, it comes from the same thing in the old Latin language. So we'll let you see that.
¿Qué me recomendaría?
¿Qué me daría, but ¿qué me recomienda? ¿Qué me recomienda? ¿Qué me, and then I make it a shorter verb because that's often what you use. Recomienda, recomienda, recomienda. I want everybody to try that one. ¿Qué me
Recomienda.
Que me
recomienda?
re- recomienda.
Recomienda, recomienda. And the reason you often ask that is because, unless you've got like a dietary thing where there are certain foods you can or cannot eat, often the waiters or waitresses are going to know what is the best thing they've got on their menu. They often just know that. They know what is ordered the most, what is the freshest, what is the best, what is the best prepared thing on the menu, what's the most popular. So it's often a good question to ask. ¿Qué me recomienda? Recomienda. I want everybody to try that. Recomienda.
Recomienda.
Recomienda. Bien. Recomienda.
Recomienda.
Sí. ¿Qué me recomienda? What to me do you recommend? That's the way the words flow in Spanish. ¿Qué? What? ¿Qué me recomienda? So we're using those interrogative, the question words. ¿Qué? What? ¿Qué me recomienda?
Les recomiendo nuestro plato de almuerzo.
Okay. That's kind of a generic thing there, but they're keeping this very generic. Le recomiendo. The le means to you. It's a formal to you. Okay, not a buddy form. It's a respectful, polite you. Le recomiendo, ¿sí? Nuestro plato de almuerzo, our luncheon plate. Well, that's kind of blah. Generally, you're going to get something like it's the seafood or it's the beef or it's the pork or, something like that.
I recommend our breakfast platter. What does it come with? ¿Con qué viene?
¿Con qué viene? This is a good question to know. ¿Con qué viene? ¿Con qué viene? Con means with. And qué is one of our question words. It is the what word, yeah? ¿Con qué? With what? ¿Con qué viene? ¿Con qué viene? With what does it come? ¿Con qué viene?
Okay, bien.
Viene con huevos revueltos, tocino y 2 panqueques.
Okay, wow, that was a lot. Viene con huevos revueltos. Huevos are eggs, and here they're in a breakfast setting. Huevos revueltos. Revueltos is what kind of eggs? Revueltos.
Scrambled.
Scrambled. Scrambled, yeah, revueltos. Huevos, and notice we don't pronounce the H, the H. Huevos revueltos, yeah. Yeah. Tocino is bacon, tocino, 2 panqueques, and there's a borrowed word from English, panqueques, 2 pancakes. You will not always hear that kind of offering, and this is a breakfast setting, so it's a little bit different than a dinner setting.
It comes with scrambled eggs, bacon, and 2 pancakes. Well, that sounds good. Can I order that and a bagel and cream cheese on the side?
Now, I want you to know there is no word for bagel. Okay. Depending on where you go, how close to the border is, they may serve a bagel if they know they have a lot of, and then you'll probably see it listed as such. But you may see different words that refer to a bun or bread type item, but it won't be the word bagel. Bien.
Eso suena bueno. Puedo ordenar eso y también una rosquilla con crema de queso al lado.
And that rosquilla word is a word for a baked bready type item. Yeah, a bun type bread breakfast issue because you will not see bagel. See? Crema de queso would be a creamed cheese. See? And al lado. So we're going to let that go through.
No hay problema. Estará listo en 10 minutos.
Estará listo en 10 minutos. You know that listo means ready. So what is she telling her? Estará listo en 10 minutos.
Ready in 10 minutes.
It'll be ready in how long?
10.
10 minutes, yeah, en 10 minutos, ¿sí? Okay, no hay problema, no problem.
No problem. It'll be ready in 10 minutes.
And no hay problema is a good phrase to know. Hay means there is. So there isn't becomes a negative expression, right? And hay, there is, but no hay, there isn't. No hay problema, there's no problem. Okay, bien.
¿Le gustó su comida? ¿Necesita algo más?
And the main chunk you're looking at is actually the last half of that. Necesita algo más. What is she asking? Necesita algo más? Algo means something.
Need something more.
Do you need something more? Do you need something else? Yeah, the way they will ask else is more. The word more. Más means more. Necesita algo más? Do you need something more? And she's using the polite you. A waiter or waitress, unless you're a 20-something, if you're 30 or above, they're going to use the polite you with you in all likelihood. So, necesita is the polite you. Necesita algo más. Algo is just something.
How did you like your food? Would you need anything else? What a delicious meal. Can you bring me the check, please? ¡Qué comida tan rica! ¿Me puedes traer la cuenta, por favor?
And you can make that, you need the check with just saying the bill, please. So make that shorter. Asking for the bill is la
De cuenta.
cuenta. Bien. La cuenta, por favor. La cuenta, por favor. Muy bien. A shorter way to say it all really good. Muy bien, gracias. Muy bien, gracias. La cuenta, por favor. La cuenta, por favor.
Claro que sí. El total es $15.63.
Okay. Claro que sí just means of course. Claro que sí, literally clear that yes. When people say of course, they may just say claro, or claro que sí. Claro que sí is yes, of course. Claro que sí. El total es $15.
$15.
$15.
$15 y 63.
63.
Cents.
63 cents, and it probably won't come up to be that. Yeah, they'll round things up more than likely, but hey.
Certainly. The total is $15.63. Here you go. Thank you very much. Aquí está. Muchas gracias.
Aquí está, here it is, aquí está, or aquí tiene. When you exchange things, often aquí tiene, here you have it. Aquí tiene. And they didn't talk about the tarjetas or any of that right there. So the only phrase in this thing was a nice interchange to see how a question and answer back and forth might be. But do know that you don't want to use that me gustaría. That's the only thing I would totally take out. People will not use the me gustaría much, if at all. Why people persist in that, I do not know. Okay, let's do a quick review of some quick sayings, and then we're going to take a look at a couple sample menus. And we're going to let you try a little tiny bit of dip your toe into a little role play of picking something off of a menu. Okay. Bien. And remember, when you walk in, if you need to be seated, you need to tell them a table for and the number of people. If I have 4 people, how would I say that? ¿Cómo se dice table for 4?
Una mesa
They say
para
cuatro.
cuatro, por favor.
Sí, una mesa para cuatro, por favor. Mesa para cuatro, por favor. And always the please, because you get lots of brownie points. You score lots of goodwill when you add the por favor liberally through all of your exchanges with people, your verbal exchanges with people.
Quick question.
Sí, bien.
So if I'm alone, can I say una mesa para mí
Me.
or para uno?
Sí, para una persona, sí. Sí, sí, una mesa para mí. Para mí, yeah. Una mesa para mí, sí. Estoy sola. I'm alone.
Mm.
Bien. Buena pregunta, Kyoko. Yeah, sometimes we are solo. Yes. Así es. So it is. So, bien.
Thank you.
So, de nada, de nada. Bien. So, again, asking for the menus. El menú, por favor. El menú. And the que me recomienda. Here is our phrase that we shortened from the role play interview. Que me recomienda. Que me recomienda. Que me recomienda. Recomienda,
Recomienda.
see? If you want to know what comes with something, this is the shortest way. Con que viene. Con que viene. With what does it come? You know, sometimes there might be rice and beans that comes with a dish. A salad might come with a dish. A soup might come with a dish. You know, you just have to order. Often it's something like rice, beans, some kind of a potato, or some kind of a veggie. Okay, so con que viene, see? Here is our question 4, and there are 2 ways to ask it. Is it spicy? Eso pica? Eso
Eso
pica? See? Pica literally means it stings, which is what it does with your tongue, yeah? Or es picante? Es picante?
Es
Es
picante.
picante.
Es picante. Is it spicy? Do ask about that, especially if you are, si estás en Mexico, yeah? If you're in Spain, the food is not really known to be super spicy there. Different countries in Latin America, it's not always spicy food, but en Mexico, sí, es muy común, okay? Some things to know, soy alérgico, soy vegetariano, I'm a vegetarian. If you know you're going to need a recommendation because you're vegetarian, ask for help. Often you're going to see, they're going to recognize that word, vegetariano, because, you know, they too have people who are vegetarian, or they have many tourists who come in who are vegetarians. So often there will be an option, at least one. Un plato vegetariano, okay? And here are 2 verbs that are good to know when you need to ask a question. If you need to know an ingredient, yeah? These are 2 verbs that are good to know. Tiene, which means it has. Tiene. I want everybody to try the word tiene.
Tiene.
Tiene. Sí,
Tiene.
okay.
Tiene.
Tiene. And the word lleva. Lleva.
Lleva.
Lleva.
Lleva.
Lleva means
Lleva.
does it carry, but lleva and tiene are kind of interchangeable. You can use either one, doesn't make a big difference. Okay. So, por ejemplo, lleva salsa. Does it have salsa in it? Lleva salsa? See? Okay. If you're, if you need to avoid dairy products, llevan leche or llevan producto lácteo. Does it has a milk type ingredient? Okay. Llevan nueces. Does it have nuts if you're allergic to nuts? Those are the common things that you might want to know. And remember, we've got categories, right? in Mexico, botanas are often a word used for an appetizer, the first little dish that you often will share around, right? Botanas or aperitivos or entradas. Those are all three words that you might see any of those three used for the first side dish that people eat before the main meal, right? And they might ask you algo para compartir, something to share, or algo para picar. And there, picar doesn't necessarily mean spicy, but to pick at. Yeah, so everybody to pick at. Or para empezar, to begin. Para empezar means to begin. Well, I'll add that in here, to begin. Para empezar means to begin, okay? El mesero, la mesera. So remember, the easiest way to order is para mí, yeah? When you're ordering for yourself, para mí, or to order for other people at the table with you, para él, for him, para ella, for her, right? You saw in the role play with the couple, they used va ser, it's going to be. That can be used to order as well, okay? You can also ask me trae and plug in the item. See? Me trae una limonada. Me trae una limonada. Me trae means to me will you bring. Me trae. Me trae. Trae. Me trae. Bien? But the easiest and shortest one is para mí, and then ordering for other people, para él, para ella. Okay, bien. Las bebidas. Las bebidas, here are the common drinks that you're going to have. And I want you to try to say a lot of these words because these are words that are good to know. Okay, we'll take them one by one. See, las bebidas, drinks. Agua.
Agua.
Repitan. Agua.
Agua. Agua.
Agua. ¿Sí? Agua, bien. Limonada.
Limonada.
Limonada, ¿sí? Limonada, lemonade. Un refresco.
Un refresco.
Un refresco. Refresco is a soda, a soft drink. Refresco, sí. Refresco. Cerveza.
Cerveza.
Cerveza. Beer. Cerveza. Cerveza. Bien. Vino.
Vino.
Vino. A wine. ¿Sí? Vino. Café.
Café.
Café. Té.
Té. Té.
Kind of close to our word tea, right? Té. Gets a little accent mark when it's written down, but té. Té. And a juice of some kind is jugo.
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 Jugo. Bien? ¿Sí? Do know that this word is often used instead of cerveza in Mexico. Chela. Chela means the same thing as cerveza. Okay? Una chela. Una chela is the same thing as una cerveza. In Spain, and in Spain, this is going to be a short glass, not a great big, don't think like the great big pints they serve in England, like the great big honker, huge tankard, but just una caña. Una caña is a short glass of beer that people have like sometimes midday, okay, for snacking. Una caña, or just when they're having snacky foods with their friends after work. Una caña. Una caña is a different word for cerveza, but only in Spain. Una caña. So you may hear those words, just know chela is cerveza, caña is cerveza, depends on the country you're in, right? When people order a wine, instead of saying a glass of wine, the word for that is associated with a glass of wine is una copa. Una copa. Una copa de vino. Una copa de vino. Okay? Una copa de vino. If you're ordering a bottle, of course, it's una botella, right? Do know that white wine is vino blanco. Vino blanco.
Vino
Wine
blanco.
white. Vino blanco. But they don't actually use the word red to ask for red wine. I don't know why, but it's just not done. So the word for red is rojo, rojo. But you will not hear rojo for red wine. You will hear tinto, So think tinted, I guess. That's kind of the way it's expressed. Vino tinto. Vino tinto. Vino tinto is a red wine. Vino blanco. Vino tinto. Okay? Bien? So we've got our para, and here are all the things you may hear. Some places you'll see a board, it'll have menú del día, and all the things that are sold together is like a package meal. But often you'll see things broken up like this. La especialidad de casa, the house specialty, see? Ensalada. Here are good side dishes that people will order often separate from the main meal. Okay, el plato fuerte. So, repitan por favor. Ensalada.
Ensalada.
Ensalada, sí. This, again, often might be sold separately. The soup, sopa.
Sopa.
Sopa does not mean soap. It sounds like the English word soap, but it means soup. Sopa.
Sopa.
Sopa. Sí, sopa. Potatoes often might come with a dish, or they might be separate. It depends, again, what time of day you're eating and all of that. So, papas. Potatoes are papas.
Patas.
Papas. So here I'm going to show you a difference. Potato is called something slightly different in different places. All of Latin America, the word papas is used. Papas. Papas means potatoes. If you go to Spain, there's a slighter, longer word that is used to say potatoes. Patatas. 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 But they use the shorty word in all of Latin America, in Mexico, Central America. So you will not hear patatas there. You will hear papas. Papas. Papas fritas is fried potatoes, so like French fries, right? Papas fritas. Here's a common side dish, arroz.
Arroz.
Arroz. Arroz. Arroz, rice, right? Arroz. Okay. And some places on some menus, you may see things listed as una ración aparte. Una ración. Ración means, think it looks kind of like ration. It sounds kind of like ration, right? Ración, ración. And it is a ration. It's a portion. Yeah. So, a side order, una ración aparte. Una ración aparte. Some people might want potatoes on the side. Maybe the dish doesn't come with potatoes. Sí, una ración aparte de papas. Okay, so that may be used. So here we go. You're looking for things on the menu, and the things on the menu may be la carne. La carne.
La
Often will
carne.
mean, la carne. It may be listed as carne de res. De res means specifically beef, but they may just use carne to talk about beef. So la carne or carne de res. Res, that'll be beef. Chicken dishes will be pollo. El pollo. ¿Sí?
Pollo.
Pork dishes will be el cerdo. El cerdo, ¿sí? Cerdo, right? That'll be the soft cerdo, cerdo, ¿sí? Fish, pescado.
Pescado.
Pescado, el pescado. That'll be, category often on the menu. Separate, if you have seafood, like, things that come in a shell, like shellfish, that'll be called mariscos. Mariscos. Sí, mariscos. The word mar, M-A-R, means sea, S-E-A, like ocean, sea, right? So mariscos are foodstuffs that come from the sea. Mariscos, seafood. Mariscos, okay? Y plato vegetariano. Plato vegetariano. Vegetarian plates, because people there are vegetarians too. Some of them, just like here. So here are your cubiertos, your cutlery type items that will be at your table. En la mesa, ¿sí? El tenedor, fork. El tenedor. El tenedor. You've got knife. El cuchillo.
El
El
cuchillo.
cuchillo.
El cuchillo.
El cuchillo. And your spoon item will be la cuchara.
La cuchara.
La cuchara.
La cuchara.
La cuchara. La cuchara. Bien. La cuchara. Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. And at the end, the easiest way to ask for the bill is to do this in the air and do la cuenta, por favor. La cuenta, por favor. Repitan, la cuenta,
La cuenta,
por favor.
por favor.
La cuenta, por favor. Sí, la cuenta, por favor. If you want to get really fancy, sí, me trae la cuenta. Will you bring me the bill? Sí, pero la cuenta, por favor, the bill. Okay. Now, when you want to pay, it's good to ask. Some places will only take cash. Some places take cash or card. They don't care. And the way that you ask is, perdón, puedo pagar. Can I pay? Puedo pagar.
Puedo pagar.
Puedo pagar. Can I pay? Puedo pagar con tarjeta, with a card.
Tarjeta.
Con tarjeta.
Tarjeta.
Everybody try that word tarjeta.
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 Tarjeta. Yeah. Tarjeta is a charge card. Okay. And they don't really care if it's debit or charge, but credit. But tarjeta. O efectivo. Efectivo.
O efectivo.
Efectivo. Okay, so efectivo is your cash word. Do know.
O efectivo.
Sí, con tarjeta o efectivo. Con tarjeta o efectivo. Do know if you're in a street food, like they're just serving off of a truck, yeah, or a cart. If you're eating street food, very, very likely they are just going to take cash, and that's kind of it. Okay. In those kind of settings. But some may take a card, but some may not. So do know in that setting, you're likely to need cash, right? A different way of using, asking about con tarjeta is con terminal. Con terminal. ¿Sí? Con terminal. And the reason they'll use that word terminal is the little actual electronic device. It'll look maybe kind of like this thing, except you can stick a card inside of it. Yeah. And in many places, many restaurants abroad, instead of taking the card and then coming back to you like they do here in the US, they bring the terminal to your table. That is a very, very common thing for them to bring the little gadget device that you stick your card into right at the table. Okay. And that basically is really so that your card is not being taken off someplace else and you don't know who's got your card. So that is a common thing to bring the terminal to the table. Con terminal. Con terminal. Okay. And then just so you know, the word for tip is propina. Propina.
Propina.
Propina. Propina is tip. Una propina. And 10%, they're likely to ask you how much tip. Sí, desea dejar una propina. Propina, they're asking about, do you want to leave a tip? Especially if you have on a card, because then you have to designate how much to put on that card. So 10% is 10%. 10%. Por ciento means percent. Por ciento, sí. 10%. Sí. 15% would be 15%. 15%. Por ciento. That is probably the recommended going rate right now, para que sepan, just so you know, 15%. So, if you're alone, I would say 10% is really acceptable. But if there are at least 2 or 3 of you, 15% is considered more the going rate. So, at least with Mexico, 15%, 15%. If you've got a big group of people, it might be more appropriate, and you had a lot of service done at your table to leave a 20%, 20%. ¿Sí? Bien. Okay. Vale. Let's take a look at a bill, and good heavens, this is tiny. Let's make it big. Aha. Okay, a ver. Let's see. And you've got un menú corto. This is a small menu. We're looking at, some little midday light meals here. Jugos naturales, sí, aguas frescas. Those are waters that have some little fruit things added into them, right? Licuados are some kind of a shake, okay? Shake with kind of fruit blended in it. See, licuados. Oh, we've got postres, desserts. Wow, bebidas, calientes, hot drinks. And why they put a great big Coke next to the hot drinks, I don't know, but you've got café, all kinds of things. Refresco, see? Bien, so we've got some different things here. We're looking at this one a la derecha on the right, right? Bien. And so we're just going to think about drinks here. Drinks here. Who wants to do a little role play with me? Alguien, somebody want to do a little role play with me? Really short. It's going to be breve, short. Super short. Kyoko, bien, bien, bien. I'm going to walk up to you and I'm going to say, buenos días, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está? And just give me a greeting. You don't have to even pick
Sorry.
anything off of the menu. No, está bien.
Buenos días, estoy bien.
Bien, bien, magnífico. ¿Desea algo de beber? ¿Desea algo de beber? And
Sí.
you're looking at the stuff on the right? ¿Sí? Okay. Sí, lo siento. Sorry, these are kind of small here. The one on the left will be easier, but ¿desea algo de beber?
Para mí,
And pick
I don't know. Café, por favor,
Bien. Bueno, un café. Bueno, un café con leche.
con leche, por favor.
Bien, bien. 5 minutos, por favor. 5 minutos. Bien.
Bien.
Bien. Vale. Okay. You see how short that was. See? Bien. And no asking for the item, any item there yet. Let's take a look a la izquierda, on the left. A la izquierda. We got salad and soup. We've got ensalada argentina. We've got ensalada César. We've got sopa de tortilla. We've got, sopa del día. What do you think sopa del día means?
Soup of
Soup
the
of the
day.
day.
Soup of the day, right? They make a certain standard soup that they serve all day besides the sopa de tortilla. Linguine al gusto. Gnocchis. Okay. Bien. Vale. El menú. Let's say we pretend somebody that we have brought the drinks and you're sipping your drink, and I come in and I ask Kyoko, I ask, ¿desea algo? ¿Desea un plato? ¿Desea un plato? Would you like a dish off of this? The stuff on the left.
Sí.
Bueno, ¿qué desea? ¿Qué desea pedir?
Pedir? What did you say?
Sopa del día.
¿Qué desea?
Sopa
What
del
do you
día.
desire? Yeah.
Can I say va a ser?
Va a ser is one way to do it. Sí. Va a ser.
Ensalada César.
Ensalada César. Bien.
Por favor.
Bien. Perfecto. Perfecto. Muy bien. Sí. ¿Algo más?
Uh, uh, that's it. Todo.
Sí, that's it. Es todo.
Es todo.
Es todo. Es todo. That's it. Bien, bien. Perfecto. Perfecto. Okay. Vale. Kyoko, we're going to take you off the hot seat. We're going to give somebody else a chance. Here we go.
Thank you.
Bien, bien. Okay. Muy bien, muy bien. Vamos a ver. Vamos. Aquí. Wow. ¿Cuáles son categorías? What are some things we've got here? We have bebidas. Bebidas, right? These are
Thanks.
drinks, okay. We've got aguas frescas. Agua de horchata. Horchata is a rice and almond drink. It sounds kind of gross, but it's actually wonderful. It's just super refreshing. Horchata is great. Anytime you see horchata on the menu, order it. You will love it. Horchata, refresco, agua natural, ¿cuál es la diferencia? What do you think the difference is? Agua mineral versus agua natural. What do you think the
One's
difference is?
carbonated.
One's carbonated.
Yeah, agua mineral is bubbly, yeah, mineral water. Agua natural will be,
Mm.
I guess you would call it flat water in English. Yeah, no bubbles. Yeah. Not carbonated, non-carbonated water. Agua natural, sí. Agua mineral, sí. Cerveza. Pulque. Wow, that is very alcoholic. Uh, okay. Preparadas are, they've got different juices there under their preparadas. Y café y té. Café y té. Té. Americano is American style coffee. Okay. Cappuccino. Espresso. Bien. Okay, so let's take a quick look. I want somebody else to give it a try with the drinks menu, and I'll do a little question with somebody. Anybody? ¿Sí? ¿Alguien?
I'll
Somebody
try
give-
it.
Okay, Andrés, bien. Buenos días, ¿cómo está?
Buenos, buenos días.
Bien, bien. ¿Desea algo de beber? ¿Desea algo de beber?
Um, re, uh, Americano coffee, cafe.
Bien. And add a please in there, Andrés.
Oh, por favor.
Por favor, sí. Un café americano. So I'm going to alter that a little bit for you, Andrés. Un café americano, por favor. Okay?
Cafe
Un
Americano.
café. Un café americano. ¿Quieres leche con el café o no?
No,
No.
no leche.
Okay. Bien, bien. So let's say we bring that. Let's take a look at some of the items on our side here. We've got, enchiladas, different kinds of, right? Chile relleno de queso. So chile
Enchilada.
relleno, yeah, chile relleno.
Enchilada
Chile,
verde.
yeah, chile relleno, is a stuffed chile, right? Enchiladas, verdes is green. Enchiladas de mole. Mole is a very spicy brown sauce. It'll have a mixture of chocolates and spices, which sounds strange, but it's very spicy. So, okay, mole, great thing to try. Frijoles, ensaladas, ensalada mestiza, ensalada de nopales, ensalada verde, that's a green salad, right? Ensalada de frutos rojos. Ensalada, it is what kind of salad? De frutos rojos would be what?
Red fruit.
Yeah, it's got red types of fruits in it, so just a variety of different kinds of fruits. Okay, let's say I have brought your drink, Andres. I am then going to ask, ¿está listo de ordenar? ¿Está listo de ordenar una ensalada?
Para mi enchilada verdes, por favor.
Excelente. Sí, para mí, para mí. Easiest way to order, para mí, ¿sí? Una ensalada verde, sí, por favor. Bien, bien, perfecto, perfecto. Ok, A ver. Oh, here we've got some big things. El plato fuerte. Here is the main dishes. Plato principal, plato fuerte. Fuerte is your main dish. Categorías. We've got res. What kind of foods are under the res column?
Beef.
Beef.
They're all beef type things. And, just as we put names on things in menus, they've got names. Tinga de res, alambre de res, bistec. These are all different kinds of beef dishes. And they'd probably give you a long explanation that you might not understand all of it, but, res. Pollo. These are all what kinds of food? Pollo.
Chicken.
Chicken, okay? And they've got all the different things. Now, here are some things I'm going to point out. Pollo con mole. Mole, again, is that special sauce that you hear about in Mexico a lot. Mole is a pretty spicy sauce. So you might have to ask, because one is probably spicier than the other. So mole rojo is red mole, and mole verde is a different color. Mole verde is
Green sauce.
green mole.
Green.
Yeah, green mole. So mole is a sauce, una salsa type of sauce. But the green or the red mole, one is probably spicier than the other, and you probably have to ask. Okay? Es picante. Is it spicy? See? Pollo con mole rojo, pollo con mole verde. Con just means with. So mole is a common thing to see on a Mexican menu. And I would actually advise that you give that a try at some time. Pechuga is a chicken breast. See? So pechuga a la mexicana is just what they call their chicken breast dish, whatever that is. Pollo con papas y pimientos. That papas word you know.
Potatoes.
Potatoes, sí, papas. Pimientos are peppers. Okay, bien. We've got another categoría, huevo, huevo, huevo,
Egg.
Evo.
Huevo.
egg. These are all egg dishes. Sí, huevo en pasilla, huevo a la mexicana, huevo con ejotes, huevo con nopales. And now we got another category, cerdo. What kind of food is this? Cerdo.
Pork.
Pork.
Pork. All of these are pork dishes. Tipo pastor is often whatever the pork dish is called for that restaurant. Tipo pastor usually has cerdo pork in it. So if you see tacos al pastor, they are tacos that have pork type meat in it. Para que sepan, so you know, okay? Carne tipo pastor, salsa roja, costilla, cerdo, chuletas. Chuleta is always a chop, a pork chop, okay? Chuletas. Bien, bien. And then we've got a different category, vegetarianos. Vegetarianos is...
Vegetarianos.
Vegetarian, yeah, vegetarian stuff. So, calabacitas are zucchinis. They're little squashes, calabacitas. Okay. We've got an ensalada, right? Verduras just talks about veggies. Verduras al vapor would be steamed. That word vapor, it looks like vapor. Yeah, that means they're steamed. Verduras al vapor. Okay, papas, potatoes again. Queso. Queso is cheese.
Cheese.
Okay, bien? Okay. I want somebody to try ordering one thing off of the menu. Alguien, anybody want to give a try? Just order one thing off the menu. I'm going to ask the question. Sí, bien, pick. Magnífico. Sí. Bueno, ¿está lista de ordenar, señora?
Sí, bueno, yes.
Ok. ¿Qué ¿Qué desea pedir? ¿Qué desea ordenar?
Sí, 5 momentos.
Oh, 5 minutos. Bien,
5
bien.
minutos.
5 minutos. Bien. Good that you practice it. Magnífico. Sí. 5 minutos. Let's say 5 minutos passes. I come. Sí. Está lista. Está lista, señora.
Mm,
And just pick any item off that, or ask, is it
Encha-
spicy?
yeah, enchilada de nopalitos.
Bien, bien.
Hola.
Bueno, gracias. Excelente, excelente. Okay, so let's say you're done with that. Let's say we're done. How do we ask for the bill at the end?
Puedo pagar con tarjeta.
Okay, puedo pagar con tarjeta. That is one good way to ask. Sí, puedo pagar. Sí, puedo pagar. Can I pay? And a short thing to ask about the bill. The word for the bill. La
La pregunta.
cuenta. Sí, la cuenta. And Vic, you were right. Sí, tienes razón. Puedo pagar. Can I pay? Puedo pagar. Puedo pagar con tarjeta. Bien, bien. Magnífico. Okay, bien. We're going to stop that here because I'm getting close to the end of my my time here. So we're going to take our last bit to look a little bit at shopping. I do want to show you one little video here with shopping. And I'll show you some things I'll send on the email later about ir de compras, going shopping. This will give you a really good, quick down and dirty of an interaction at a store, not concerned with food, but in a store. Okay? ¿Está bien? And we're going to skip some of the preliminaries. And
Episode, you'll
Okay.
learn the following. How to ask if you can try something on,
because sometimes we have to try on clothes. So this has nothing to do with food, but it's still in a customer interaction, right?
the most important phrases for making a purchase, and how to handle confusing situations.
Keep in mind that the conversations you'll hear are all in Spanish. Don't worry if there's something you don't understand. There's a breakdown section in
they're
English
gonna be
after each of
things
the
where you can
conversations
shorten
where we go over the most
questions.
important words
Okay.
and phrases. In this example, you're gonna learn how to ask if you can try something on and phrases you can use afterwards. Hola, buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Disculpe.
And notice, how do we ask for somebody's attention? When we ask for help, the word we say is disculpe.
Disculpe.
Disculpe. Disculpe is excuse me. And this is how we signal somebody that you need help in a store. Disculpe. Disculpe. I want everybody to try. Disculpe.
Disculpe.
Disculpe. Disculpe. Disculpe. Disculpe.
¿Tiene esta blusa en talla mediana?
Déjame.
And she's going to explain these words. a little bit
Es
later.
grande nada más, ¿verdad? También es
Now, she's asking about sizes of clothing. So we're going to show you some words to ask about size of clothing.
grande. Ajá. Sí. Bueno. Pruébatela. ¿Sí me la puedo probar? Sí. Sí, me voy a probar la grande entonces. ¿En dónde tienen probadores? Así.
They're going to go through this
Bueno,
again
gracias.
and show you all the different words here.
Hola, buenas tardes.
And notice when you walk in the store, everybody, a polite thing is to give that greeting. Buenas tardes, good afternoon, or buenos días if it's morning before noon.
When you go into a store just to look around and the clerk asks if he or she can help you find something, you can say,
Solo estoy viendo. Gracias.
This is a great phrase to use when you just want to browse the store without the pressure of the clerk following you around. It
Okay.
means
Solo estoy. Only I am doing something and I'm just looking. Okay, so don't need any help yet. Solo estoy viendo. Solo
Solo
estoy
Estoy
viendo.
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 Instead of viendo, it might be mirando, mirando. And you'll see
Mirando.
this in the little slide set I'll send. Solo estoy mirando. I'm
Solo
just
estoy
looking. Or
mirando.
solo estoy viendo.
Viendo.
¿Sí? Gracias.
I'm just looking. Thanks.
Disculpe.
Now here's where she needs help. Disculpe. You grab that person's attention. Disculpe, excuse me.
¿Tiene esta blusa en talla mediana? ¿Tiene esta blusa en talla mediana?
Ah, so tiene, do you have? This is a polite you. Tiene esta blusa. Blusa would be a lady's blouse. Yeah. It sounds a little bit like blouse, and it is blouse. Esta blusa. If it's a shirt, let's say a guy's shirt, it would be the word camisa. 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 Okay, so blusa, she happens to be looking at women's clothing, but men's shirts would be camisa.
Do you have this?
And talla. Here's our word for size. Talla. If they ask you talla, they're asking about a size. Talla. And mediana looks kind of like our word medium, doesn't it? Talla mediana is medium size. Tiene esta blusa? Do you have this blouse? En, meaning en talla mediana. En talla mediana.
This blouse in a medium? Say,
¿Tienes esta blusa en talla mediana?
And that's just the familiar, the friendly you. I would not use this if I were you. I would stick with tiene, no S at the end. Okay. If you're talking to a teenager, tienes is okay. If it's an older person, I would just be erring on the side of being respectful and using tiene.
for the informal you. Other sizes you can use are
Chica,
small,
grande,
large,
So here are ways we ask for different sizes, okay? The size most often used to say small sizes, chica.
Chica.
Chica means girl, but chica, when you're talking about talla, size, means a small, okay? Chica, small, mediana, medium, okay? I want everybody to try the word mediana.
Mediana.
Mediana. Mediana is
Mediana.
right in the middle, right? Chica, small, mediana, grande.
Grande.
grande,
Grande. Grande. Grande is large. Extra large is extra grande. Extra grande, right? Grande, extra grande. Okay.
or
extra grande.
Bien.
extra
Okay.
large.
They did put that in. I
Say-
forgot.
¿Tiene este en talla mediana?
For masculine nouns such as
Abrigo,
coat,
déjame. Grande
es
nomás.
grande nada más, ¿verdad? También es grande. Ajá.
Sí.
Bueno.
Pruébatela si quieres.
Pruébatela si quieres.
means try it on if you want.
So just know that this chunk at the beginning of this great big long word, pruébatela, means try it on yourself. And the la means an it. But just know when you hear that word, we're listening for words where we understand what they're asking us about. What they're asking about is, do you want to try it on? Okay. So this word, prueba, means they're asking you if you want to try it, right? And you can just respond with a sí or a no, and that's okay. But pruébatela, si quieres means if you want. But just know we're recognizing what they're asking us about. Do you want to try it? Es prueba.
¿Sí me la puedo probar? Sí.
¿Me la puedo probar?
Can I try it on?
Now, a shorter way to say that is to cut it short. Puedo probar. Puedo probar is close enough they'll know what you're asking about. It means you want to try it on to see if it fits, right? The me la, can I try it on myself? Right? The me la means on me, and the la means it. We're referring to the thing we call blusa, blouse, it, la. Okay?
Say,
¿Me lo puedo probar?
for masculine,
Okay, so if you were asking about a dress, vestido, that's a masculine thing. So the it word, instead of being la, the it word would become a lo. Just so you know. Me lo, on myself, it, can I try? I know. That's the word order they use. Me lo puedo probar. But just know the chunk, if you forget all the other stuff, is puedo probar. Puedo, can I? Puedo probar. Okay? Bien.
nouns, such as a dress.
Vestido.
When you are referring to a plural noun, say,
¿Me las puedo probar?
And don't
for
worry about the
feminine
last
plural
plural.
nouns,
We're gonna
such
let that
as
go.
Pulseras.
bracelets. Or,
¿Me los puedo probar?
for masculine plural nouns, like
Zapatos.
shoes.
Sí, me voy a probar la grande entonces. ¿En dónde tienen probadores?
¿En dónde tiene probadores?
Means, where do you have fitting rooms?
Yeah, ¿dónde tiene? ¿En dónde tiene? Where do you have? Or you can say, ¿dónde hay? Where are there? ¿Dónde hay? Right? Hay probadores. Hay probadores. Tiene probadores. Do you have trying on fitting rooms, right? Fitting rooms. And that prueba becomes probadores, a room where you try things on. Probadores. Okay.
Say,
¿En dónde tienes probadores?
for the informal you.
Clásico.
Ahí al fondo.
Over there towards the back.
And fondo always means in the back. Fondo. Fondo. Al fondo.
Bueno, gracias.
If what you tried on fits and you want to buy it, you can say,
Lo voy a comprar.
for masculine nouns, such as a dress.
Un vestido.
Or you can say,
La voy a comprar.
for feminine nouns, such as a skirt.
Una falda.
If you don't like it, you can say,
No me gusta.
I don't like it. Or you can say,
No me gusta cómo se me ve.
I don't like how it looks on me. If you want to keep looking, you can say,
Voy a seguir buscando. Gracias.
I'm going to keep looking. Thanks.
In this conversation, you'll hear the most important phrases for making a purchase from start to finish.
Disculpa, estoy buscando vestidos como este, pero para una niña como de 1 o 2 años. Para una vez. ¿Qué color lo quieres? Quiero a
And,
ver.
you know, we're going to go to the breakdown session because I don't want to run out of, because this is where they slow it down.
Disculpa,
Okay.
estoy buscando.
Estoy buscando.
Estoy buscando. I'm looking for. Okay. I want everybody to try that phrase. Estoy buscando.
Estoy
buscando.
buscando.
Estoy buscando una camiseta, a t-shirt. You know, the common thing that people buy, una camiseta, una camisa, a shirt. All right. She's, I think, looking for a little dress for
Means-
some nieces.
I'm looking for. This is a very useful phrase you can use no matter what it is that you're looking for. Flip-flops, backpacks, wallets, or even tomatoes. Another thing you could ask would be,
Vende.
like,
Vende vestidos.
And this would be a verb that says, do you sell? And it's the formal, polite, do you sell? Vende. Think of a vending machine, yeah? A vending machine sells something, so vende. Vende, and then you name the item. Vende vestido. Vestidos. Vende camisas, shirts. Vende sandalias. Do you sell sandals? So any of those items.
Or,
¿Vende carteras?
which means, do you sell
Wallets.
dresses? Do you sell wallets? Respectively.
Vestidos como este, pero para una niña como de 1 o 2 años.
And she's asking for little kids' dresses. So.
¿En qué color lo quiere? Del
¿En qué color? ¿En qué color lo quiere? In what color do you want it? See? En qué color is in what color. Lo quiere, it do you want. That's the word order they have. En qué color lo quiere. In what color? En qué color.
el que sea?
What color do you want it? Whichever?
Quiero a ver si tiene 2 iguales, blanco o como el beige,
She's asking for two that look
pero que sean
exactly
así
the
los 2
same.
iguales.
For two little girls.
A ver, hay 2 verdes. Ujú.
Verde,
Ese es más
green,
chiquito. Ajá.
azul, blue.
¿Qué precio tienen estos?
¿Qué precio tienen estos?
And here is, we've got a what, question word. ¿Qué precio? ¿Qué precio tienen? What price do they have? See? You could also ask, ¿cuánto son? How much are they? ¿Cuánto son? See? ¿Cuánto son? But ¿qué precio tiene? Or ¿qué precio tienen? Because she's asking about 2 items. So she says tienen instead of tiene, right?
How much are these? Change
Estos,
for
estas.
feminine plural nouns.
Don't
And
worry
say,
about the esto or estas.
precio
just the
tienen
¿qué precio
estas?
tiene?
180. 180.
180, 180. 180 is 100. How much? 180.
80.
80, yeah, 180, 180, 180. So here come those numbers back.
Yo creo, me voy a llevar los blancos.
Me voy a llevar los blancos.
So you can cut out the me word, but you can say voy a llevar, voy a llevar. I'm going to take, right? Llevar means you're going to pick it up and take it away with you. Voy a llevar is a way to say that you're going to take the item. Voy a llevar, voy a llevar, voy a llevar. And she's picking the white ones out. So she says los blancos, the white ones. Voy a llevar los blancos.
I'll take the white ones. For a shortened version of this phrase, say,
Me llevo esta.
I'll take this one. For singular feminine.
And the me llevo means I'm taking it with me. Okay? Me llevo. So llevo, they know that means that you're going to take the item. Llevo. Me llevo, I'll take it with me.
Nouns.
Me llevo este.
I'll take this one. For singular masculine nouns. Add an S to the end for plural nouns.
And they're just showing you what happens with multiple items there. Okay. And now you're going to hear some words that you'll recognize because we're at the paying process. So we want to let you hear this
Sí, por
one.
favor. ¿Acepta tarjetas o nada más efectivo?
¿Acepta tarjetas o nada más efectivo?
And she's asking how to pay, right? Acepta. Do you accept? Do you take? Right? Acepta tarjetas. So she's asking if she can pay with what?
Credit card.
A credit card, right? Or a debit card, doesn't matter, right? With a card. O nada más efectivo. And she just added another nada más, but efectivo is
Cash.
cash, right? So a lot of times, small stores like mom and pop type small stores might only take cash. Depends on where you are traveling, but small stores might not have the capability of charging a card. Just so that you know, so that you're prepared for that, you might need to have cash when you're going into that type
Do you
of
take
setting.
cards or only cash? Say,
¿Aceptas tarjetas
And
o
that's
nada
just
más
the
efectivo?
friendly form.
for the informal you.
Solo efectivo. Serían 360, por favor. Aquí tiene.
Aquí tiene.
Here you go. Say,
Aquí tienes.
for the informal you.
That's when you're handing
This
over
phrase
the
can
money.
be used for anything you're handing the
tiene.
other person while paying
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah, aquí tiene is frequently used when you're handing over cash or your card to charge it if you were using a card. Aquí tienes. Here you have it.
Así está bien.
Means, that's fine. In this case, the store clerk didn't have enough change for the 500, so she gave us 150 pesos instead of 140 pesos for change.
Do know, this is actually a good cultural thing to know. Some of these small stores, if they only take cash, and that was the case here, may not have exact change. This comes as kind of a shock to American shoppers. Sometimes the small mom and pop type small stores do not have exact change or much of it. So sometimes they'll give you a little discount, or sometimes, do be prepared, they may even say to you, no tengo cambio, I don't have change. Some people will go to get change, some will not. You got to be prepared. It's a good idea if you're in a small store setting to have where it's only cash. Solo efectivo, solo, only, solo efectivo. It's a good idea to have a variety of smaller bills to pay because some places don't have a lot of change to give back. It's just the way it works. Some places will get you change. Some places may not have the manpower to go run and get some change. So be prepared for that situation. That can happen. And we'll let you listen to the last part of that talks about the confusing situations. But I've got a little slide set here where you'll be able to see how these verb forms work. Okay, the forms you need to know: the tengo, I have; tienes, you have; tiene, you have; compro, I want to buy. That's a different way of saying I will buy something. Compro, right? Llevo means I'll take it with me. Sí, me llevo. Bien. Me cobra is a way of asking, can you charge? And pago con efectivo. Can I pay with cash, right? So this little slide set will take you through those kind of verb forms and some of the phrases that they talked about in this particular video. Okay, bien? And we're kind of running out of time. So I just wanted to kind of preview for you. That'll be the little slide set that you will see that talks about vocabulary for store settings. ¿Sí? ¿Todo bien? Okay.
Sí, bien.
Son las 11 o'clock, and I went past. Lo siento. Sorry. Bien. Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias, sí, por participar. Thank you for participating. Y muy bien. Eso es todo. That's it for today. Bien?
Bien.
Perfecto. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much.
Thank
Sí.
you.
Gracias.
Fue un placer. Sí, de nada, de nada.
Nada.
Muy bien. And we will end our recording with